you can't even save up money to rent an apartment in a place like California because things have been so exploded because of the liberal policies. Sacramento River, so I think it's outside of Sacramento. There's
Okay.
just some like place where people have developed some sort of massive homeless encampments, I guess.
So Sacramento is cheaper than the Bay Area, right? Like Sacramento is what?
Okay.
It's I think 2-ish hours northeast of say San Francisco. So it's a little bit cheaper. That's where the governor's mansion or whatever is. It's the capital, but it is cheaper. So I mean, it really could go either way. Now, just by looking at those people, if I'm going to make a snap judgment, they brought it like they, you know what I mean. They didn't just get. And that's another thing. If you want to talk about liberal policies, like they make it almost impossible to get rid of somebody. So the sheriff is not just going to come in if you miss one month of rent. The sheriff is not going to come and kick you out of the house. It's going to take 12 months for that landlord to get rid of you. So you know what I mean. It wasn't like, oh, I just missed 1 or 2 months and now I'm out on the street. Not possible, bro. They make, and that's why it costs so much to get in. The same thing in New York, right? You got to pay first month, last month, sometimes a security deposit on top of that. So that's looking at 3 months of rent. If you're
normal here. Well,
yeah,
it sucks, but
on top of that, you have to show, like here in Arizona, I think you only have to make either twice or 3 times the amount of the rent. In New York, they want you to make 40 times.
Oh my god!
So if you can make $120,000 in New York and you'll qualify for an apartment that costs you $1,700. You know what I mean? Like, so they make it so hard for you to get in because once you're in, you basically have carte blanche. You can do whatever you want. So I'm not going to say I don't know in California if it's 40 times because and full disclosure, I wasn't working in real estate in California. I didn't do that until I got to New York. But I assume it's going to be at least 5 or 10. So in Arizona, it's only 2 or 3. In South Dakota, it's 2. So if your rent is $600, you only have to bring in $1,200 a month, and they'll be like, all right, like no felonies, you're good to go. And on top of that, another liberal policy that they're pushing through is that they want to end background checks. So you have to show that you make all this money, you have to pay for it. And then if you don't pay for it, it's going to be impossible. And I know I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I had a roommate situation when I lived in California, and he had one piece of mail there, couldn't get rid of him.